What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 494 of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast, Hot Tags of the Week, where we'll be breaking down some of the current events and rumors and news and gossip and everything else that's happened in the world of pro wrestling over the past few days that we feel like talking about. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango. Joining me, as always, is Robert E. Felice.
Tony, got some hot tags this week.
Phew, it's you're getting scorched on some of these the way that they are. You know, some weeks we get where there's not much to talk about, and we're kind of like, hey, there's a trademark of something that's probably not going to be anything. And what did you think about the episodes? Oh, the episodes were okay. Oh, they sucked. Oh, they whatever. And then you get a week like this where you're like, remember all those releases? We're coming back around to that. And remember all those talks about this? We're coming back around to that. And like, you know, we're going to break down some interesting stories here. So hopefully you guys have fun while we're doing this. And of course, as always, we want to know what you have to say about these topics. So in whatever fashion you want, voice up your opinions and drop a pipe bomb in some fashion. Not a real one, because that is domestic terrorism, but the... and demonetized for the first couple of minutes of this, right? You know, you can send a tweet at us or at Smark Out Moment. You can post something on the Facebook page. You can put something on the page on smarkoutmoment.com, or you can do what I consider to be the best possible means of communicating, which is to drop a comment below on YouTube. You might be listening to us elsewhere, maybe on Spotify or Amazon Music or something. Head on over to YouTube anyway. Give us the click. And while you are over there and you're dropping your comments and you're telling us how amazing we are and how beautiful we look today and everything else, even though you can't see us, then hit the like button. That'll help out quite a bit. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't done that already, because that helps out the channel get to a point where YouTube cares about suggesting it to other people. Those two things are major factors into that. Set up those email notifications as well. That way you get the notifications of when we go live for different things, like we do for the post shows or just some other specials here and there. And when the videos get posted, whenever they do get posted, because sometimes we record on different days. And you might just kind of go, well, I wonder when those guys are going to do that. You know, and I'm subscribed to a bunch of different things on YouTube. I don't know how many you've got that you're subscribed to, but sometimes even the things that you're subscribed to can get lost in the shuffle too.
Yeah, especially when you're like me and you're like, fuck, I haven't subscribed to too much.
You know, there's a thing that I come across recently. I'm trying to find the name of it right now. I'm looking on my subscription thing, where it helps you you can group things. Now I'm using Firefox. I like Firefox better. PocketTube is the name of it. YouTube subscription manager. It's probably for Chrome too, but it gives you the option of being able to create groups. And I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, everybody. We're going to do our sponsorship thing later on. But, you know, it's kind of like I've got a section that has 4 different channels that are just for food. So if I don't want to watch like a food related thing, then, you know, I'll go through and I'll disable the food thing so then it won't pop up under there. And same thing for film analysis and pro wrestling and music and whatever. So if you are one of those people that's like, man, I would love to subscribe, but I don't want it to be filling up my subscription list all the time, subscribe and do PocketTube and do something like that. Put us on the list of, I'll check it once a week or something. At least you're subscribed if that's the case.
So like, that's something I would love. I'd love that for my phone as well, because some of the notifications on here need to stop.
So obviously take advantage of those things and help us out with that. Hit the applause button if you feel so inclined to help us out and throw a little bit of money in our tip jar. There's the join button where you can become one of the members only side of things, where we have a members only video that's up right now. It's our fan outs table, I should say. That's the one for here. Fan tracks is Fanboys Anonymous. But our fan outs table of the In Your House season's beatings that we watched recently, which again, you can only check out if you are either on the members side of YouTube or on the Patreon under the Darkcast tier. Same thing for both. Same monetary level and everything. So if you want to be helping us out in that way and you've got the money in your wallet that you want to send our way, then consider donating to the Patreon and become a member of the Smarks Club and just kind of check out all the other extra stuff that we've got going on. Do the Pick Your Poison tier, whatever it might be. So let's move on here and talk about some of the actual topics themselves. Oh, actually, I forgot. Merchandise shops, TeePublic and Redbubble. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, get that out of the way real quick. Buy a t-shirt. That'd be cool. We got some topics that are some of our least favorite topics to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah.
We got injuries. We got releases. We do have a trademark. You want to start with the trademark? Why don't we do that one? Get that out of the way.
Yeah, we got a couple of them.
So the only one that I have, actually, so you might have some more that on the fly, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. The only one that I have is that Chelsea Green had abandoned her trademark that she was trying to get for her podcast. She was trying to go for 50 Shades of Green. And the 50 Shades of Grey people were not having that.
Very surprised that it went that far, because there was actually another podcast about some kind of like environmental stuff that was called 50 Shades of Green. I thought that would be it. But no, it's the 50 Shades of Grey people.
So she is now going with Green with Envy.
I like that. I don't know if she's an envious person.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the 50 Shades of Green to begin with, but I liked it better than Green with Envy, because Green with Envy is just a generic term. Like, I called one of the chapters about the Green Ranger in my Power Rangers blueprint Green with Envy, because it's just the way that it is.
It's a great term, though.
Yeah, it is a great term, but I don't think it's the best term for the podcast. Then again, if that's what she likes, then that's what she likes. I'm sure a lot of people are like, Smark out moment's dumb, and I'd be like, yeah, according to you, it is. Like, I happen to love the name Smark out moment, so meh.
I've been trying to follow her podcast. I think it's actually really good. It's one of the more digestible ones, because it's like half an hour a week, and she's pretty entertaining in them. So I will keep listening. I don't like the name as much. Not that the name would like, well, now that you changed the name, I'm not gonna listen. But yeah, so far so good for her and her podcast.
I haven't listened to any of it.
Of course you haven't.
Yeah.
But, like, I understand that, because you have so much else on your plate.
I had tortellini on my plate earlier.
Yeah, so did I.
With what type of sauce?
Tomato. Like, there was some diced tomatoes in there, and some there's a red pesto sauce.
See, I normally go Alfredo, but I went with spaghetti sauce as well. Not with diced tomatoes, though. I'm not a big tomato guy. But
yeah, I would say, just to be clear, we weren't like eating dinner together. It's not a thing that usually happens, or ever happens.
Yeah. Tell us what you had for dinner tonight. Drop it in the comments below. Always interested in some snack talk. But what were some other trademarks you came across? I didn't come across any other ones.
So, like, just generic ones, like WWE had trademarked like Reginald and BFAB, because that's a thing, and well, the AEW trademarked a term that we'll get to in a bit for Rampage, because that's the thing that's happening. WWE's also trademarked Santana Garrett, so they're gonna do something with her. They trademarked Jeet Rama.
They stole in the mix.
The superstar spectacle guy. Did we do Nobody's Bitch already?
I think we might have.
They trademarked Nobody's Bitch, and they also trademarked There's Never a Bad Time to Have a Good Time.
What?
Now, who do you think that could be for?
There's never a bad time to have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, my gut reaction is August Gray.
So, my gut reaction was, that seems like a really long but kind of appropriate slogan for SmackDown, because they've got the AC/DC, are you ready for a good time? But SmackDown introduced Rick Boogs. And if that ain't a Rick Boogs slogan, I don't know what is.
Did they trademark the switch over with his name? Because
what, Rick Boogs?
He's had like 6 different variations of that. The last time it was RIK and then BUGEZ. And today
that's
he
the one I remember.
Announced himself as being BOOGS.
Oh, for fuck's sake, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so they did trademark Rick Boogs with the BUGEZ.
Huh. So they don't know. Is it still with a K or is it with a C now?
It's with a K.
All over the place. We're gonna go back to the Boogeyman.
Good for him though. He's fun.
Yeah. So trademark stuff. There you go. That's one of the staples of the past year out of the way for this podcast. Let's talk about an injury. Now, lots of people complaining, lots of people more than okay with the zombies that we had going on at WrestleMania Backlash, which was a tie-in to Batista's Army of the Dead film coming out, or it's actually already out now that we're recording this, which we haven't get a chance to see that yet, but hopefully there will be some kind of fan tracks or something up on fanboysanonymous.com in the next coming days or so. But not only did it come out that they potentially made 7 figures in doing that, which is like, you can justify that a lot more now, can't you? But also, unfortunately, The Miz suffered his first real injury in his career. Took him a long time, so credit where Miz is due for not getting injured after all this time, but he tore his ACL. So he's going to be out for months at this point.
That's so upsetting. Miz never gets injured, and he was arguably in one of the most important matches at WrestleMania. And it sucks that he got injured. I'm glad he got his title run in.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for that Money in the Bank briefcase that they got that out of the way.
And that he got the WrestleMania match out of the way.
Yeah.
And you know what? Still, The Miz, his most advantageous asset is his microphone skills. So just because he tears his ACL doesn't mean that he can't still pop up, you know? I'm sure the travel is not going to be great, but at some point, I'd imagine you got MVP walking with a cane. You've gotten people walking around on crutches before.
Miz will probably be back way before most people would be.
Yeah. Now, he might not be in the ring for a while. He'll definitely not be in the ring for a while, I should say that. I don't know how many months he's expected to be out, but it's not going to be some kind of like, in a couple of weeks, he just turns back around and he's fine. I'm sure he'll be out probably the rest of the year.
That sucks, man.
Maybe even longer than that. I don't know how long the recovery is for a torn ACL. Let's see if there's any kind of recovery time for torn ACL types of things. So Big Cass apparently was one of the last ones that had done that, and his projected recovery time, according to one thing, was 9 months. I don't know if that's anything better or worse. Mickie James apparently had a torn ACL for a while. She was gone for a long time, but there could have been a lot of creative too.
She was injured multiple different ways, though, wasn't she?
She might have been. Or they could have just kept her out and just said that they had no real,
because clearly they don't value her.
Tegan Knox. Oh. God knows when she's going to be back. From when
woman.
3 injuries just right in a row like that. Nia Jax was out with 2 torn ACLs.
Yeah, she tore them both at the same time.
So that happened in April of 2019. Not sure how long she was out. But it's not like she was out for 2 years.
November. No, wait, no. She was out for a whole year. She came back the Raw after Mania.
Huh.
She fought Deanna, actually.
So we're looking at maybe a year, maybe a little bit less for the Miz to step back in the ring. Hopefully less, of course. Hopefully he heals better. But he is still the Miz. He can still cut promos. So whether he's a manager or he's hosting Miz TV and just can't step in the ring in the same kind of capacity and people can't, have him bumping and everything, I think he'll be okay.
Well, he had recently said to Forbes that he wants John Morrison to be a world champion within the next year because he feels like Morrison has earned that. I'd love to see that happen. I think Morrison's been great for a long time, and this is his chance.
Maybe that's how the universe is working around this, is if he would have split with The Miz in a different fashion, they would have just kind of de-pushed Morrison and maybe this will be the way to keep them around, and it'll be like, hey, look, we can't do the feud, so let me be his mouthpiece, and then we can start working with the same sort of thing that MVP had going on with Bobby Lashley or something, you know?
Yeah, I would love that.
Big fan of Morrison. I would like to see a situation like that happen. Would you rather that be a heel or babyface kind of thing?
So he would need to get a little more serious as a heel, but I could see it being a babyface.
If he's with The Miz, it seems like he has to be a heel. But if it's not, then I think that he works better as a babyface.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because like the bedazzled abs and the everything about him.
And if he keeps the goofy thing, and he's just sort of like, oh, you know, I'm a goofy kind of guy, you might get into it a little bit more. It's gonna be weird when we go into having the fans again, how people react to everybody. Because
yeah, that's one of the hot takes too.
Is it? It was last week, I think, that we were talking about that.
No, they just announced the dates.
Oh, they announced them, but they announced it before too.
No, they didn't.
Pretty sure that we talked about it on the last Hot Tags, didn't we?
We talked about the fact that...
I mean, I still feel like it's, February, so, like...
We had talked about the fact that, like, somebody had reported a potential July 16th. Now we know it's July 16th. We know where Money in the Bank is. We know where SummerSlam is.
Actually, I don't think I have that information down. Where did they say that they were at? I'm going to have to add that to the website.
So July 16th will be in Houston. July 18th is Money in the Bank in Fort Worth. And July 19th is Raw in Dallas.
I mean, I know that SummerSlam is in Nevada, but they didn't give any kind of venues for SummerSlam.
It's going to be some kind of Vegas.
It's going to be a Double or Nothing.
I made that joke. I was like, can we call it SummerSlam, Double or Nothing?
WrestleMania, SummerSlam. That's how they'll do it.
I like the... You know what you could bring back if they did, like, taglines? Fully Loaded.
I always like the name Fully Loaded.
SummerSlam Fully Loaded, like, rolling the dice. I can't believe this is the first time they'll ever be doing SummerSlam from Vegas.
They never did it, like, around that area before?
No.
I mean, to be fair, I don't remember off the top of my head what any...
Like, because I know for a while they did, what they do, like, the LA for, like, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, that was going on for a long time. Way too long, I think.
And then they did New York for 4.
Really? 4 years?
15, was it 15, 16, 17,
I mean, they had
18, yeah.
They had Brooklyn takeovers.
15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, I guess that was New York.
And then 19 was in Toronto. And then 20 was supposed to be in Boston, but obviously it wasn't. Very exciting, though. And of course, they're doing a 25-city tour from the 16th of July through Labor Day.
Are you in the same boat that I'm at, where you're still just sort of like, I don't know? Like,
I'm perpetually in that boat, but I'm also perpetually in, like, it feels as though this is just the direction we're moving. You know, like, even if something happens, we'll work through it because this is the direction we're going.
Just roll with the punches sort of thing.
Yeah, it's roll with the punches time. Maybe even it's a little time to, like, all right, we're going to throw a little bit of blush over that black eye. You know, like, like, this is totally, like, let's go.
Somewhere in Fort Worth, Texas, July 18th, Money in the Bank will have fans, unless something changes. And then we're back to square one, essentially. But
yeah, I don't see square one happening again, but I could be wrong.
I didn't see a pandemic happening.
Well, nobody's.
So I can't trust my opinions about those things. I'm like, it's on the other side of the world. That'll be squashed in a day. Then
how'd that work out for us?
A year and a half later, I'm like, when I went out yesterday, I actually forgot my mask. And by the time I got out of the car, and this has happened a couple of times to me, where I've been like, I get out of the car and I don't have the mask on and I have to turn around and get the mask. But I actually forgot to even bring it with me. Thankfully, I have some other spare ones in the car. But I was just kind of like, just casually like, yeah, whatever. Then I'm like, oh, fuck. That's a thing. Forgetting about that. Like, So, God knows what the next thing is in store for a lot of things. And God knows what's in store for the future of a lot of different people with contracts in WWE, because they had released a bunch of people on our last mailbag. on our last mailbag, as if like they waited for the mailbag to come and then they were like, okay, we're gonna have a guest thing here.
Is that not what they did?
It seems like it after 2 years in a row. But we kind of were speculating, hey, maybe the NXT crop's happening the next day. And it didn't. And a couple days went by and it didn't. And at this point, it was practically last month or so, I think. And here comes the NXT releases. And the first one that was reported that I had seen was NXT referee Drake Wurtz.
So that was the first one. Because that was the one that it was like, oh, they let Drake go today. Because obviously Drake has been a little controversial. Still a little. And then it was like, oh, and they let go of referee Jake Clemons.
And then that's when it started to go from, oh, they released the guy that seems to have some heat on him, to, maybe they're releasing a lot of people. And WrestleVotes had put out a thing saying, heard that the Performance Center had a busy day. So then it was just like, oh no, they're going to be releasing a bunch of people. And I was expecting a list of like 20. It ended up being a list, at least from what we're aware so far, of the 2 referees. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other people. One of them the following day after that. So admittedly, 9 people is not as bad as the 20 or so that I was expecting. But 9 people got fired. Or more so, some of them, they had contracts that didn't get renewed. It's not that you got fired, it's that we didn't continue to employ you. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know of anybody who's like free of contract.
Not quite yet, but one of them that has hinted at that, and also hinted that he might have just let that happen anyway, is Alexander Wolfe. He says June 15th is when his contract is over with. So we might not actually get confirmation on these until around that time. They might put something up on the website like, technically speaking.
It is notable that like all these releases have 30-day no compete.
I think that just might be a standardized kind of
for
NXT thing. Yeah. I don't know for sure. It might not be. But
Vanessa Borne got released.
Vanessa Borne. We'll come back and we'll talk about these each individually. But Vanessa Borne's one. Jessamyn Duke is one.
That's a big one.
Skyler Storey, who I'm sure most...
that might be the most surprising. She's not the big headline, but that might be the most surprising release of all of them.
She's on the thumbnail that I've got for this video. So
she was just signed.
Yeah.
3 months ago.
A little bit before that. Wasn't she signed in October?
She signed in February.
So it was just like in the mix around October instead? Because she was hanging around and everything. Like she was in the hot tub.
She was in the hot tub with Priest.
And that was it. She never made another appearance. Unless it was like,
signed at that point.
And like some kind of background scene thing. Like she could have been one of the zombies in something, or like that doesn't really count. B-Fab was a part of the Raw Underground. We're not counting that as her debut,
The only one who Raw Underground counts for is Babatunde and Omos.
And even Dabba-Kato, Babatunde, stopped being Dabba-Kato. So they just wiped that clean.
To act like he wasn't there.
Yeah, they're like, who is this guy? It's like, oh, maybe he's the guy that you said 2 other times. Who is this guy? But Jessamyn Duke, Skyler Storey, which if anybody doesn't know who Skyler Storey is, she's Brandy Lauren. Why did I say Lauren? That was weird. Lauren. Okay. What the hell was my mouth doing with that?
Okay, so I misspoke. She was signed back in
October, right?
Officially revealed by WWE back in October.
All right, I thought so. Yeah, I'm right. What do I win?
My job. Congratulations.
Shit. I'll take the pay.
She revealed the new name in November. And then promptly
went MIA. And Meltzer had reported that she was one of the top people on some kind of internal list that they really liked. So very curious what's going on with that one.
Right, because she was renamed right around when they renamed Cora Jade. Well, they just announced that we signed Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, and
that they had Zeta Ramir,
Gigi Dolan,
and that they renamed Catalina to something else. I forget what her name is now. Katrina Cortez, I think.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like Zoe Stark and everybody, like that group of people was like, okay, they're giving them all names because they're going to do something with them, not that they would release them in a couple months.
And Brandy's the only one.
So far, at the very least. I mean, I don't think that they're going to release any other ones, but it's like the Eye of the Storm or something, looks like it's over. But that is very surprising. I have no idea why they would have signed her. They waited a while to sign her. And then after signing her, a couple months later, she's gone. So maybe there's a reason why. Maybe she didn't get along with people. Maybe she didn't want to work there. Maybe there's some kind of like a medical thing or something. I am completely flabbergasted. I have literally no sources for anything. I have no information. I'll speculate out of my ass.
Well, I don't have any sources on this one. Meltzer said that she's no longer dating Janela. So
if anything, I would think that would be like a positive for the WWE side,
Positive for positive for WWE and a few other things.
But she was surprising, and Kavita Devi was surprising to me.
Kavita Devi was surprising. But I think that boils down to she's still in India.
It might be.
And COVID's getting worse over there.
She left to go to India because family was some kind of that they were sick or something, right? I don't remember exactly, but I remember her not being a part of Superstar Spectacle, and there was some kind of report about somebody had gotten sick and she decided to go there instead or something.
It was a family issue, and I thought it was a COVID issue.
Might be somebody being sick and it not being COVID. Might be. I mean, I don't know. Again, talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but and my ass apparently. I'm very talented, but that was surprising to me because I figured, oh, well, they put a couple of years into her and that they'll want to reap those benefits at some point. And now that they might start getting NXT India started, I would have thought she would have been a guarantee.
Maybe they're just waiting to sign her when they do NXT India.
It could be. It could be the type of thing. We're going to release you now and we'll come back to this in a couple months. And another one of them was Ezra Judge, who had been signed in 2019.
He looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. So I went to Twitter and saw him. He looks like he could main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, the guy's got a great look to him. So what didn't work? I want to know. Has he not progressed well enough in those 2 years? Because they never put him on TV outside of, I'm sure he probably was in some kind of group shots here and there, just, Cal Bloom popping up in the crowd for when they started to have people doing that and, different kind of crap like that, but that doesn't really count. So They didn't give him a chance. Some people, they have wrestled once in a while, like Denzel Dejournette, Desmond Troy now. He's done a couple things. And the name I just mentioned, Cal Bloom, he's wrestled a couple times. He wrestled on like Raw a couple times even.
I'm going to read you this verbatim. Crazy Drake Wuertz stories emerge amid firing, and there's a reason I'm reading this now. There were a couple instances where we're told that minorities within NXT took exception to the way things were worded by Wurtz. One situation we've heard involved Nxt Uk, otherwise known as Ezra Judge, almost feeling the need to get physical with Drake. There were numerous times that talent, specifically people of color, went to NXT higher-ups about situations like this. He wanted to punch Drake in the face.
Well, then that's kind of confusing, though, because then it's like, well, then if Drake is kind of creating all these issues, supposedly, allegedly, let me tell us out the legal term with that kind of thing, it wouldn't seem like that would be a reason to get rid of Ezra Judge unless they valued that as being like, okay, you're causing problems too. Because there can be two people that are wrong in a situation.
Like, there can be.
Doesn't need to...
Just like, all right, it'd be harmless to let go of you now. Nobody's seen you on TV.
Maybe that's it, yeah. There could be a lot of reasons. It could be he wasn't progressing well enough. There could be some backstage issues.
I think he was definitely progressing well. He looks too good to not have been progressing well.
Yeah, but how many people have looked great and couldn't work a damn?
Listen, we ain't got a lot of Lex Lugers anymore.
It's exactly the person that Meltzer was comparing him to. Funny enough.
Lex Luger?
Yeah. I listened to one of his things and he was like, this guy looks so much better than Lex Luger.
Yeah, well, like, Lex Luger's the guy that comes to mind when you think, wait, he fucking looked great.
I'm trying to think of another one. I'm kind of blanking, but like Nathan Jones.
Chris Masters comes to mind as well.
He was better than I think some people would give him credit for. I think he was fantastic. You know, so I'm not mourning the loss of a 20-time world championship run for Chris Masters, but I think he could have been an Intercontinental champion or something.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Judge has a lot of potential just because they don't make him like him anymore.
It's a shame that he couldn't pull 3 Faces of Foley, and we couldn't have gotten Ezra Judge, Ezra Jury, and Ezra Executioner. I can't even say it. Gonna pull a Taz here.
Do you understand that I knew exactly what was coming out of your mouth as soon as you said it?
But see, was it coming out of which side of my mouth or my ass? We haven't decided which one.
Both cheeks.
Yeah. On the Vanessa Borne front, she is pissed. And I think rightfully so in some ways, depending on how things have really worked out. Now, of course, we don't know because just we weren't backstage and everything. But here's a transcription of what she had said in her Twitter response. I'm going to try to read it as fast as I can, so it's not going to be like taking up forever. Hello, friends and family and fans. Today I got the call I will no longer be a WWE superstar, which came as quite a shock to me, considering all the work I've done in these past 18 months. We're going to stop right there. We're going to come back a little bit. That is a very charged sentence. Because now I don't have degrees in body language and the analysis of that kind of stuff, but I got the call I will no longer be a WWE superstar, which means already this was not her decision. It's not like I've decided to part ways. Because some people do that. Some people are like, you know, my contract came up and I decided I don't want to renew. And it's less WWE released the person and more WWE wasn't able to sign them again. Other times people are fired. She was fired.
Yeah, and she made that clear.
And she says, it came as quite a shock, considering all the work I've done in these past 18 months. So whatever...
And the way she says it, too, was so, like, And considering all the work I've been putting in,
it was very much like, I've been busting my ass and they fired me. Which may be entirely true, because we've been hearing for a long time that she was supposed to be coming up to the main roster. She was supposed to potentially be a part of Retribution. She could have been a part of this stable that was like a Charlie's Angels type of thing with Chelsea and Santana, I think.
Santana Garrett, who they just trademarked, so they're keeping her around.
Which is kind of weird, because it's like they got rid of Chelsea, they got rid of Vanessa. If I was Santana, I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm gone, you know? But then again, they got rid of 2 members of 3MB and kept Heath Slater around, and then eventually brought them 2 back and got rid of Heath Slater, so...
And then eventually the other 2 became world champion.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't this? So Vanessa also says, first, I want to thank WWE for the opportunity these past 5 years. It's been a fun ride. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the friends and family who have supported me throughout the wrestling career. Your kind words were never unnoticed. To all the haters and Twitter trolls, I want to thank you guys as well. You really motivated me and lit a fire within me. Just kidding. You people fucking suck. Be nice. It shouldn't be that hard to be a decent human being to someone you don't even know. And my reaction was, fuck yeah. Because it's like, yeah, I'm sure that's like, the hell with you people. You know? Like, I know that if I get nothing compared to the kind of reactions that WWE superstars get, but it bugs the hell out of me if I get a comment where people are like, hey, fuck you, asshole. And it's just kind of like, dude, why are you so mad? You know? And there's stan accounts, and there's obsessive people, and there's fan dedication profiles, and all this kind of stuff that I can't even imagine dealing with. And to open up your Twitter feed and perpetually have people say and tag you in things about like, oh, she sucks and she shouldn't be wrestling and whatever, it's gotta weigh on your psyche.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that any of the rumors that came out following her release has made it any better.
And the main rumor seems to be that she might have been involved with somebody else that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll get around to that. But she also had said that there are so many do's and don'ts and faux pas in the wrestling business. And I finally feel like I don't have to worry about what Captain Insano said in 2007, or if another one of my visionary ideas is going to be given to somebody else.
Yeah.
She also said, I have no hard feelings, no animosity. It's like, okay, no, you clearly do. Come on. Like, you know, but I don't have to worry about what Captain Insano said in 2007. Yeah, to a certain extent, I can understand that, because I'm sure, like, she probably wasn't a big fan of wrestling when she was growing up. She was a cheerleader, and she probably got into it more so because it was an athletic thing to do and another career option. And look, maybe it's not the truth, but it's a possibility, because it happens to lots of different people. She is an extremely attractive, athletic woman. Of course she's going to want to be interested in a job that is half how you look and half how you perform. You try it out. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You move on to something else. It does work. You end up finding a passion for it. Some people they were into pro wrestling when they were a kid, and all they want to do when they grow up is be a pro wrestler, and they try it and they hate it, and they love selling insurance or being a realtor or slicing meat at a deli. I don't fucking know. And some people, like Bianca Belair, was not a pro wrestling fan. She said before, she was just like, I didn't grow up watching pro wrestling. But she's an athlete. And she, got approached by Mark Henry, and she started to do this. And now it seems like Bianca's just sort of like, oh my God, pro wrestling's probably my calling. I get the feeling that Vanessa Borne is probably in that kind of range where she's like, look, I don't think I need to know the history of pro wrestling to be able to do my job. And I don't disagree with her if that's the case.
So from that perspective specifically, like the history of it, I feel bad about that. Because even though I don't know her, I feel like, yeah, I'd be that asshole if I was, there. They'd be like, oh, well, why is she getting a push? She doesn't even know what Captain Insano said in 2007.
Or how everybody teases Cameron because her favorite match was Alicia Fox against Melina. And it's like,
right.
give the girl a little bit of credit. That's her sister. Or wait, no, that wasn't. I'm blanking on that.
Thinking of
I'm thinking of the she was in the same. She was in the same group. Oh my god, what was her name?
It was Kaylee something, wasn't it?
It was something with see, I'm thinking Cameron, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Kaylee Croft for a
No, Kaylin Croft was the guy with Trent Beretta.
It's Kate. It was something like this.
Oh my god, what was her name? I gotta look that up. It's gonna bug the hell out of me. Alicia Fox's sister. And of course, for the first thing comes up, Vivica Fox. They are not related. Christina Crawford.
Yeah.
And she was
Kaylee Croft.
And she was Kaylee Turner.
I was there.
We're hovering around the answer. If I would have said that out of my ass instead of my mouth, it would have probably been right. Don't you like on this podcast when the jokes keep building up on each other? But I kind of see where Borne, if that's the case, that she could be like, what the hell? You're making me feel like I'm a piece of shit just because I don't know the same that somebody like a Candice LeRae would know. Or, of course, you ask Johnny Gargano and you go like, not that Gargano was making her feel bad or anything, just in case anybody's reading into it, I don't fucking know. But like, I'm sure if you were backstage talking to Johnny Gargano and you were like, dude, how cool was the Boiler Room Brawl? He'd be like, dude, that was awesome. It's whatever. And I'm sure if you were like, hey, Vanessa, how cool was the Boiler Room Brawl? She'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Now, that being said, I also think that outside of a history perspective, there's probably some of a, like, backstage, there's so many unwritten rules in wrestling that are totally passe, but totally still apply. Like, I don't know if this is a thing specifically, but the whole loose handshake thing.
Yeah.
Like, something like that.
And like, you can't sit on this section of the airplane because that's for the veterans. And I'm sure there's like that type of hazing and stuff. And that's annoying. But even the idea too of the visionary ideas being given to somebody else. Now I'm curious. Was this like the Robert Stone brand? Was this, maybe. I don't know, Retribution? Was it The Way? Was it... I highly doubt that it was Jian Sha. You
never know.
If it was, then I don't know how they would have approached that, but I want to know what interesting ideas that she had that got given to somebody else, for better or worse. I want her to do more than even like an Alexander Wolfe. I want Vanessa Borne to do some kind of shoot interview. I want to hear about this stuff.
I'm sure she will.
So she was kind of surprising in the sense that they just kept not releasing her. And I thought, oh, well, then they've got some kind of plans. But then again, once it happened, I'm like, okay, well, we haven't seen her in like a year. So I get it. Jessamyn Uk was surprising.
It sure was.
I did have her kind of in the range of getting released, but I figured she wasn't going to because she's a part of Up, Up, Down, Down. And I thought Marina Shafir would be gone. And so Shafir's still there.
I'd like to, well, I'll get to him in a second, but Jessamyn Uk, I like that she said, no, I'm still going to be on Up, Up, Down, Down. Like BRE start isn't going anywhere. I like that a lot.
Fill me in on something. BRE is Best Roommates Ever.
Yes.
So why are they BRE start?
Restart.
Oh, okay. That's
we're here, miles per hour.
Yeah. Earlier today, Rob finally understood why Tails is called Miles Per Hour.
Okay, because like his name is Miles, but at this stage, Miles, just knowing his name is Miles per hour, is like something in and of itself because nobody knows his name is Miles at this
Yeah, they
point.
never call him Miles.
But today I learned it's miles per hour, and I
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, that's so crazy. That's so good.
And I can't even be like, oh yeah, because whatever. Because literally a minute ago, restart. Oh, restart. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Give me the dunce cap and the mallet, and I'll just go bunk and just kind of.
There you go.
But Duke hadn't been wrestling for a while, so I don't know how she's gonna be still on UDD, and if that's because that's a WWE owned property.
Well, let me
So
read you what she said about that, pal. Because
she
she
said his
did.
name's Miles because it's
Oh, well, let me tell you that was eye-opening. Let me just pull up what she said. Okay, Jessamyn Duke comments on release. So she had said on her OK Gamer stream, as far as this stuff goes, nothing is changing. My stream, my channel, all that is the same. More importantly than that, I want you to know, Up Up Down Down is still my home. BRE Start is not going anywhere. Everyone can sit back, relax, and enjoy knowing that tomorrow, Friday, a brand new episode of BRE Start will be premiering. We still have BRE Fridays and have BRE content coming out of our ears. That is not going anywhere. Basically, what I've been doing the last 6 months or so is exactly what I'm going to keep doing. I know I have an immense amount of support and it's overwhelming. I appreciate you guys. Up Up Down Down is my home. They have my back. We're in this together and we are family.
Wonder what the contract situation is then. I still don't know if they really get paid in some fashion or if they're doing it just for fun.
They have to get paid. They have too much going on to not get paid.
But if it's part of the downside guarantee.
Well, remember that story came out this week too. On that one chick's LinkedIn that was like, yeah, I was hired here by WWE because we were supposed to do this whole talent management thing, and then they closed the whole group 5 weeks later and let everybody go.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like,
they did that, I think, for the position that I had applied for, the continuity script supervisor, where I'm like, I can do that. And then next thing I know, it's like, they're no longer looking for a script supervisor. And I'm like, well, I could have. But the big one, more than any one of them, is the next day, they announced that Velveteen Dream has been released.
To be clear, they didn't announce anything. WWE did not announce a single one of these releases.
That's true. This has been reported by other outlets that are reputable to where we're like, okay, it's happening. And Alexander Wolfe and Vanessa Borne and some other people are like, yeah, I got released. Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Like, Dream is still listed as an NXT superstar.
Ah. Huh. Well, if that's just on the website, I mean, the website's had typos and stuff. So
now, granted, but the website also has been regularly up to date with certain, like, they moved into Ryan immediately.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy to me that Velveteen Dream, like Vanessa Borne, for example, nowhere to be found on this roster. But Velveteen Dream, he was the chosen one, man. Like, I can give you the whole Anakin speech. He was the one. John Cena wanted to work with him. Kurt
Lots
Angle
of
just said, I
people.
want to work with him.
Yeah, lots of people touting him as the future and that he's going to be, that like kind of almost the next Rock sort of guy. And we talked about it before. He was one to watch person in the past, and I've written up multiple articles about, here's a list of 10 people who WWE is going to depend on for the next 10 years. And it was like him and Tyler Bate and, you know, a bunch of people on that kind of side of things. On the younger side, Pete Dunne. And then it's
for example, not to cut you off, but Wolfe is in the alumnus section. Borne is as well. It's weird to me that they haven't moved Dream.
And from what some of these,
like, they never announced Sullivan, but Sullivan.
That's true. They never did.
He's just there. It's weird that they haven't moved Dream.
And based off of how little he's been active on social media and everything, I'm not expecting some kind of confirmation from him, you know? But other people have very clearly been reacting to it. And that's, I don't know, everybody's kind of hush about some things until the floodgates are opened. And then now we're starting to hear some pretty damning things. And they range from, oh, wow, to, oh, wow. Like Rob Schamberger. He is the guy who's done, he's the artist that people might recognize. He called Velveteen Dream. He didn't say, you know, at Velveteen Dream is whatever, but he said he, meaning, you know, what everybody knows who you're supposed to be referring to in this kind of situation, is the most, how did he word it? It was the most unprofessional, I think, person he's ever worked with.
So he did say that. He called him the most unprofessional person he's ever worked with. I do want to provide this update. The Twitter account is gone.
For Velveteen Dream?
Yeah.
What was that, like Velveteen?
It was Dream. It was Dream WWE.
A Dream WWE, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that's gone.
And nobody's just snatching it up?
Not yet. I don't know if anybody's realized that it's gone.
You want to snatch it up?
Maybe I will.
Yeah, it's that's one thing that came out. Another thing is Kathy Kelly. For the longest time, everybody kept saying that Kathy Kelly and Velveteen Dream were dating, and she pretty much has said, "Can you stop saying that?" And I guess that's not a thing. I don't know why it took until now.
I appreciate all your support, but please stop linking me to somebody who I never spoke to outside of work.
Which is like, okay, if that's true, then they weren't dating. You know, that's not going to be the case. What was the thing that Kayla had said? She said something. Blanking on it now.
Now, this is never specifically linked to Dream outside of a tweet from Rovert on Twitter, who, even though he gets a lot of stuff right, you got to take everything with a grain of salt because he's also a strong troll. Like,
he can lift.
Tweeted, love seeing karma do its hard work. With that being said, happy Friday. And I'm like, oof. Piss off Kayla and Kathy. Come on, bud.
And there's a... Go ahead.
Alan Cheapshot on Twitter tweets out, has the hidden camera in the bathroom story been told yet? And no, he doesn't signal out Dream or anything. But
I mean, the likelihood that it's Jessamyn Duke is very low, you know.
But we'll find out.
And that is like, ooh, man, because of course we talked about the allegations in the past. And since we don't know what's going on with all that stuff, you have to call them allegations because you don't know. Technically speaking, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, even though socially it's not the case. But it's like, you start stacking up more evidence of other problems, and if you know, somebody can be accused, let's use this analogy, somebody can be accused of theft, and it could be like, you stole from this shop, And it's like, no, I didn't steal from that shop. And then he goes, well, we think that you did. And then it goes, well, you're going to go to prison for, the fact that you murdered 6 people. And then it becomes like, okay, well, there's other issues to address here as well. Like, so if some people's reaction was like, oh, Velveteen Dream got released because of those allegations, it's starting to seem like it's because of this and this and this and this and this and this, and possibly that. Or it could be that that's not a real story. It just happens to be that there's 10 other reasons why.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just there's a bunch of reasons why it could be. Everybody's always going to harp on the alleged, he was accused, because there's like footage of shit. He was accused of inappropriate contact with a minor, maybe more than once, but it seems like even if they looked into that and that, didn't turn up anything, there's just enough on this dude to make it like, he's kind of shitty.
Like, Titus O'Neil gets suspended because he holds Vince McMahon back.
Yeah, like, no, ladies first, Vince.
You can get fired for being a great person and they just have no reason to do anything with creative. You can get fired for being a complete dickwad and that people don't like you. And it could be budget stuff, even though somebody like an Alexander Wolfe is like, they don't need to ever release people for budgets, which, we've talked about that a million times. But it does seem like there's reports about this and reports about that. You got to take them all with a grain of salt. We don't know. But some news stories going around that there were people worried that Velveteen Dream might become a performance center coach.
Well, no, this is where we have to differ. And I'll say this only because my boss reported that, so I'm inclined to believe him. And
yeah, I believe it.
It's one of those. Velveteen Dream should have headlined WrestleMania. And
Patrick Clark should have headlined WrestleMania. Let's put it that way. Velveteen Dream, maybe not necessarily that character, but the skill set that he had, you put that with somebody else, and my God, like.
Yeah. And it's just, remember Halftime Heat? When Shawn Michaels is gushing over this guy and he's like, oh man, to compare him to me is to limit his success. And
then you get reports that people are like, I don't want to be around this guy.
Which is to compare him to Shawn Michaels in many ways, I'm sure. But like,
yeah, but there's a different story too with like, Shawn's an asshole. And it's kind of like, that jerk. I don't want to be around that jerk. And then if there's some truth to this bathroom camera thing, then it's like, no, that's criminal. That's a problem. That's multiple problems. That is, we're not having a discussion, you're fired type of stuff.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, you're kind of being an asshole, like, can you stop making fun of somebody backstage, JBL? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't pick on the new guy. Don't make him have to take your bags. You shouldn't have to tell somebody, don't infringe on somebody's privacy or something. Or I don't know what the story officially is. We'll find out at some point, maybe.
I'm sure we'll hear something at some point because nobody can keep anything quiet. Am I right? Like,
just what a weird batch of people to release. There's not a single person on this that doesn't have some kind of like, kind of thing, except for, I guess to an extent, referee Jake Clemons. Because it's like, who's Jake Clemons? He's the guy that, for one time he was working with Seth Rollins. Okay, well, so he's another referee. Like, I don't know, they probably thought that they had enough referees. And I don't know, maybe there's something else to it, maybe there's not, but it's like, hey, Ezra Judge, part of the company for a little while, never used him, looks great. Kavita Devi, part of the company for a couple of years, just cut a promo about like, I'm so happy to be this a potential role model for these women in India. Vanessa Borne, all these great ideas apparently going to other people. We want to bring her up to the main roster. Jessamyn Duke, part of Up, Up, Down, Down, and still going to be a part of it. Skyler Storey, we just signed her a couple months ago. Alexander Wolfe gets put over in Imperium, does a better job. This week he gets taken out of Imperium and gets released. And then Velveteen Dream, that's a whole barrel of stuff.
Chaos.
So God knows what stories come out of this, but if more stories do come out of this, we'll talk about them. Future hot tags. Or maybe revolve a whole main event around something down the line. I don't know.
Oh, God, I would simultaneously love what Callum would have to say about some of these things, and also just think he'd be like, I don't care. Why are we doing this?
Yeah. Callum, tell us your favorite Looney Tunes character.
All right, if I had to guess, it's Daffy. He seems like a Daffy guy.
I don't know. I could see him being being in the Elmer Fudd or someone.
Yeah, I thought about Elmer Fudd myself, but I thought, nah.
Oh, we're going to get a response tomorrow, and we're going to get a text from Callum, and it's going to be
what the fuck is wrong with
first
you?
Off, why do you guys record the hot tags at 1:40 in the morning? And second, I'm glad that Tony isn't talking about merging companies. And then third, why'd you guys think that I would like Elmer Fudd? Fuck you guys.
It's Porky.
It's clearly I don't know, Maximilian or something. That's the kid's name, right? Maximilian? I think it was.
No, the only thing I think of when I think of that is Goof Troop.
Tiny Toons, wasn't it Maximilian something?
Oh,
Tiny Toons, Max.
You're thinking of the rich kid.
Montana Max.
Yeah.
Who was he supposed to be based off of?
They're Babs and Buster Bunny. He was the child version of not Elmer, because Elmer was Elvira.
Elvira, yeah. For anybody who's like, talk about wrestling. Sorry, we're going on a Fanboys Anonymous tangent here. Was he Yosemite Sam? Maybe.
You know what?
Because Montana Max, Yosemite Sam, like that kind of.
Yeah, he's got the red hair.
He's got red hair. Yeah, I think that might be the case. It's been so long since I've seen Tiny Toons.
That's so wild. You know what? And I'm gonna keep it going since we're here. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is gonna be the voice of Crypto the Superdog.
Really?
He will be the voice in the upcoming DC animated film DC League of Super Pets, which will hit in May 2022.
Huh. So they got to have Ace, the Bat Hound. I would assume they probably wouldn't have the rest of the super animals, like Beppo, the Super Monkey, and Comet, the Super Horse, and why
I'd
don't I know
imagine
them?
they have to have some of them. I only know Crypto and Ace.
Dwayne Johnson, Crypto. Let's see if they've got some other kind of characters on here. Maybe we could get some other wrestlers. Maybe we could get like Samoa Joe. He's done some
he did the
voice acting stuff. That's right, yeah. And Big E's done some voice acting stuff. He'd be good for that. Not
Basically,
seeing.
You should merge DC with that.
Yeah, Cal's gonna be like, don't go to the merge thing. But merging's good. Merging helps a lot of things. DC League of Super Pets. I'm not seeing a whole lot of other information here. Ace the Bat Hound, of course, Crypto. Wonder Woman's kangaroo, Jumpa.
Oh.
I don't ever remember that being a character. Oh, there's Streaky the Super Cat. Okay, I know Streaky.
Well, wait a minute. What? They have kangaroos in the Amazon, and one of them just belongs to Diana.
Apparently, she's got a kangaroo. Yeah.
All right.
There's a thing of Jumpa to 2011 to present incarnation of the character in the New 52, and Jumpa from 1937 to 1955, according to dc.fandom.com. The more you know. You know, sometimes you click on a Smark Out Moment podcast, you get information about kangaroos and Wonder Woman.
And there you go. What else can you want?
If you do want more Fanboys Anonymous content, go to fanboysanonymous.com and check out everything that's happening there. Like our James Bond review series, A Review to a Kill, which the most recent one that was posted was GoldenEye. Hear me gushing about everything. And we're going to record Casino Royale in the next couple of days. So we're winding down, which makes me sad because this is my favorite thing that we've been doing this whole year. But I like doing all that stuff. I hope you enjoy it. So go to fanboysanonymous.com, show some support for that over there. And if you do want to see more cartoon type stuff, we watched the Scooby-Doo movie recently on the fan tracks. So check out Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. So another thing that you should Scooby-Dooby-Doo is you should check out our sponsor for this episode. And that's because the support for Smark Out Moment is partially brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped, as I've been mentioning, offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and especially they've got their fourth-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. Over 2 million men worldwide trust Manscaped, and we are 2 more that are in that mix. And if you want to be more in that mix and you want to add yourself to those numbers, you can use the promo code SMARK at manscaped.com and get yourself free worldwide shipping and 20% off of anything that you purchase. We have been talking about Manscaped for a little while now, given some jokes about some stuff, but also giving our seal of approval when it comes to their products that we have tried so far. I mentioned, the t-shirt's really comfortable. The lawnmower works. Callum's got some stuff that he's tried. Rob's got some stuff that he's tried as well. And one of the things I have not tried out yet is the wireless charging for their thing, because I don't have a wireless charger set up thing.
I have tried wireless charging, but if you have a wireless charger, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to be able to just lay your phone down next to your beautiful Lawnmower 4.0, just charge everything, and you're going to feel completely recharged when you use things like their ball toner and their the wash that has the perfect pH balance to smooth everything out down there. And God, everything is just going to be so easy and so well taken care of. You never have to question anything with Manscaped. It's such a great line of products.
And it's something that, of course, if you help us out, you help Manscaped out, you help yourself out, everybody wins in this transaction. So remember, everybody, if you want to take part in that and you want to pick up something that they've got on their site, just browse their catalog. And while you're hitting the checkout button, go and type in SMARK, Smark, just like the website. Get your 20% off and your free shipping. And you are also going to get a thank you from us. You're going to thank you from them. Your balls will thank you.
Thank you for your balls, which is the most important thank you can possibly get.
I always harp on that one because I really like that slogan. Just your balls will thank you. I love how straightforward it is. Same thing with the wireless charger. Like, you check out their website and they talk about it and they go like, look, we can't guarantee it's going to work with every little charger that's out there because there's a lot of crappy chargers. I have about 20 different USB-C cables for my cell phone and I don't know, 6 or 7 different chargers. I can't figure out how half of these things are not working with my fast charger. So you don't know if you're getting good stuff out there. And of course, if you got a really crappy one like that, it might not work with the Manscaped thing, but it's not going to be Manscaped's problem because that's going to be a bad charger. So I would assume that everything like that will work perfectly fine. Everything that I've had with the Manscaped stuff has been great so far. So I think that that's a win all around. I think it's something that if you want to help us out, it's
especially
greatly
a win underground, if you know what I'm saying. Win down under.
I feel like I should have some kind of an Australian joke, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. So
I will transition that right into, did you listen to the debut episode of the Billy Kay and Peyton Royce podcast?
I did not. Did they talk about being sponsored by Manscaped? Because
No,
I don't
but
think that there would
they're
be.
from down under.
If they start getting sponsored by Manscaped as well, then that's going to be a whole
Married
nother.
to people. Sean Spears has balls. He needs to Manscaped.
Well, if you're listening, Manscaped, and you want to check out another website thing like that you might want to partner up with, there you go. But well, thank you, of course, to Manscaped for being a part of this partnership. And thank you to anybody who takes part in it. So anything particularly interesting on that podcast with Billy and Peyton?
They're a lot of fun. So they remind me a lot of the New Day in the sense that you immediately get the vibe of, oh, they're friends. Like, they're good friends, and I like that a lot.
Isn't it so nice when you see that happen with different things? Like, God, I was listening to, not listening, I was watching the Up, Up, Down, Down, where recently they were all playing Uno.
Oh, yeah, the party?
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
just, it's Cole and Woods and Cesaro and Breeze. And just the way that they talk to each other, it's like, yeah, these guys are buds. And
Absolutely.
it dawned on me, forgive me for being an hour and whatever long we are into this podcast and going on another tangent here, but it dawned on me when I'm watching it. I was like, why am I watching this? And then I thought to myself, it's because we're going to go dark here. We're going to go dark. It's because I've been so depressed lately and stressed that it's so nice to be around the vibe of people that are having fun. And it got me thinking about that. And I was like, people listen to podcasts like the one that we're doing right now. And I'm sure that some people you don't have to leave a comment below. Trust me, you don't have to. But, if you want to, go ahead and leave a comment saying this. People listen to a podcast like ours or the New Day podcast or, the Up, Up, Down, Down stuff because it's like, well, I'm feeling kind of lonely. I'm feeling kind of sad. I'm feeling kind of depressed. I feel like I've got no friends. I feel like I just need a break. I want to hang out with my friends and we can't because of COVID or whatever it might be. And it's like, okay, well, if I can't do those things, I'm going to experience that vicariously. And there's this whole kind of, I don't know, the way that like depression and everything has been like spiraling around over the years where more and more people seem to be just like, kind of like I am, where it's sort of like, man, there's not a day goes by that I don't go, news sounds great, kind of like, which is a terrible thing to say, and I'm not making light of that kind of a thing, but it's the truth that it's just kind of like.
To be clear, folks, this is why I check in on all my friends, but especially Tony.
I mean, how many times have I said to you, just in passing, jokes about things about like, somebody will go like, how can I help? And I'll be like, can you give me the gun? Like, to just like bang, but like, when people feel those kind of things and it's like, okay, I'm going to watch somebody play a video game on Twitch and it's legitimately more fun to watch somebody else play a video game. That's what I've been doing for years. I haven't owned any video game systems that are past the PlayStation 2 because I would rather watch somebody play Arkham Knight than for me to play Arkham Knight. And it's just like, oh man, it's so weird because it's like, I'm sure if I listened to the Iconics podcast, I'd probably love it because you can tell that they're friends. And it's not just a podcast of somebody reading a news report and being like, I don't know, some stock exchange thing. And it's just like the Dow Jones was whatever, and this is whatever. How do you think that that's going to work out? Well, Keith, I think that this is whatever. Oh, thanks, Jim. It's some podcast about the stocks, and there's a Keith and a Jim, and they think we're talking about them, and I don't have any idea that they exist. It's a different story when you can get that kind of a vibe. That's why that podcast with the New Day about the breakdown of the toys was so good, because it's just they're joking around about. A couple days afterward, I saw a kid. I was passing by. Some kid was taking out Power Wheels, and I thought to myself, "Oh, if Big E was here, he would think that kid's going somewhere in his life." Like.
Yeah, the New Day podcast really hits because you feel like they're friends, and I'll be honest, like it got me through some rough shit last year when I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and you pop that on and you laugh, and all of a sudden you're like, it wasn't that bad of a day. And honestly, even though I didn't expect to take this turn, I hope that our podcast does that for just any of you, because like that would mean a lot. And it's just so much better when people are friends.
Yeah, this is totally not the direction I was expecting to go out of the Manscaped plug. But at the same time, we're real with you guys. So, if I talk about that, I don't know, maybe it makes a difference or, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe everybody just goes, "Can you fucking talk about TNT already?"
Which, oh yeah, we still gotta talk about fucking TNT.
No, that's the end of the podcast. See you later, everybody. Let's talk about AEW, because AEW is shifting around. We talked about this before on multiple different things. Once they had the NBC Sports Network go under, and it was like, well, what's going to happen to hockey? Everything pointed to the Wednesday Night Wars. And everybody assumed...
Not in the way we thought.
Yeah, everybody assumed that since NBC had been a part of this, that they would go over to USA, WWE would need to switch NXT over to another night, and it would be NHL versus Dynamite on Wednesdays. So NXT moves over to Tuesdays, and everybody goes, "Yep, told you." And then it goes, "Oh wait, actually Turner has the rights now." Amazing. And everybody went, what? So then after that, we get word from Tony Khan, who's just like, "We have a contract. We're not moving." And they're moving.
Yeah.
Not immediately, but they are moving. Dynamite is going to go to TBS. Still going to be on Wednesdays. Still, I'm assuming, 8 o'clock. But they're moving.
It's pretty amazing.
Lumping this in with two other stories that we will divide in different other ways. The third hour, the illustrious, mysterious third hour, has been titled AEW Rampage. And that will be Friday nights at 10 p.m. On TNT.
As if we needed an excuse to start these podcasts after midnight.
Yeah. They will also do 4 special shows a year, which we kind of are assuming would be like Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen,
Beach Break.
Winter's Coming. Winter's Coming. Yeah, probably those. They might go with other names. Of course, obviously, they might go, "I want more gambling puns," and just kind of go into that and be like, Dealer's Choice is happening today. And
actually, I'm going to flip the script. So they're junkies for the NWA. And once upon a time, the NWA had Clash of Champions. They trademarked Battle of the Belts.
Oh, they did? Battle of the Belts. I don't remember them trademarking that.
They trademarked that a few months ago.
So that could be a thing, yeah.
If I had to guess, just knowing their obsession, because it is an obsession with the NWA, I think that'd be a pretty safe one.
They can't do Bash at the Beach because they don't have that trademark. But
damn,
it could have been. That's the Beach Break one is replacing that one. But I don't like these news reports. I hate to be doom and gloom, but so here's the first thing I thought was AEW Rampage.
I like it.
It's just It's like when we got Impact and Amped and Velocity and whatever. It's just a word. Now,
I like the word so much more than just, "Hey, it's Impact Wrestling."
I mean, they just don't have any other shows. So what are they going to do?
They do.
Yeah, do they still have that other show? Explosion. Blech. That too. The whole, it's got an X. So it's going to be whatever.
No, okay, so when they were TNA, and their 2 shows were Impact and Explosion, I was like, that's cool. TNA, Explosion, I get it. TNA, Impact, I get it.
I never got TNA Explosion when it comes to that.
What do you mean? Kaboom.
But it's TNA, not TNT.
Yeah.
It'd be like TNA. Tits and ass Explosion.
Oh, never mind. Shut the fuck up.
But Impact, to me, is not a bad name. Because it is, it's an Impact. I really love that they called their women's division the Knockout. So I was like, that's perfect. But
yeah.
The Rampage name to me is just kind of blah. Like, if you were to replace the AEW letters, that could be literally any company. NWA Rampage, yeah. GCW Rampage, sure. There's something special to SmackDown. And I never liked the NXT name.
Yeah, I'm surprised they kept it.
Yeah, I mean, rebranding probably wouldn't have been that much harder to just do something else, but so I don't love the Rampage name, and I'm even more confused about this kind of a thing where now Dynamite is not on TNT. And I wrote up an article about this. It's really just my first impressions, and I'm going to repeat myself, but it's like kind of hurts the Dynamite name, doesn't it? And the TNT Championship, because the TNT Championship belt has the TNT logo on it. And I don't think that we're going to get the TNT title only on Rampage. So the TNT title will be on TBS, which it's not the end of the world, but it is a little bit weird. And you can make the argument that, well, it's the TNT title because it's Dynamite. We've talked about this before where I said that that's a perfect name for it because of that, because you can always still keep that for Dynamite. But it just doesn't have the oomph anymore, you know?
That's fair. But I also thought that everybody was way overthinking it. Like I told you immediately, you're like, I'm writing this thing. Like, no, don't do that. Like you're overthinking it.
But it's true though, isn't it? Like it's going to be the TNT title. You're the representative of the network on TBS.
This is why I think it's silly that they put so much emphasis on, like they have a whole Twitter account, AEW on TNT. Does that just become AEW on TBS?
Yeah, that's another thing. Didn't even think about that. I mean, they probably are going to have to create AEW on TBS if they didn't already create it. Does somebody have that? I'm going to grab that too on top of...
Yeah, I'm going to grab the Velveteen Dream's Twitter handle and AEW on TBS.
Somebody has AEW on TBS. And it follows... it's got 4 followers. No, that's not my math. It's got 6 followers. All elite results. Mr. Amazing 10, which just says buy Dogecoin. Nick the Norseman, the Adams brand, PJ Stackpole, and AEW botches.
Oh,
so this is definitely not an AEW account. I'm kind of curious on what AEW botches has on here. I might have to check them out a little bit later on. But the you know, I mean, of course, you can always get some kind of like, oh, we have the copyright for this and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I was kind of hoping that hockey would move. I know it wouldn't. It's irrational. It's going to be...
Listen, you know for a fact that Cody has been pushing for TBS since the moment Warner Media was on the table.
You think he would want TBS more than TNT?
Rampage is not on Saturday evenings at 6:05 on TBS.
I mean, if Rampage would have been on TBS, then that I think would be a different story. There'd be less of a story. But I'm also not a fan that it's going to be 10 p.m. on Fridays because it's just going to, for my personal schedule, I'm like, all right, that happens at the same time as 205 Live. It pushes back the hot tags. It's jerks, you know, kind of thing. Like,
so Robert tweeted out, "Oh, it's been 2 days since they've announced Rampage, and WWE hasn't announced NXT Evolve." And I went, God damn it!
Which some people are thinking that's what Diamond Mine is.
Nope.
I hope not. I hope it's NXT Evolve.
NXT Evolve is going to take over 205 Live. Do you know what that means? Well, in my theory, it is. You know what that means?
That'll be an hour long and it'll be at the same time?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's the reaction I had.
I really don't want to sound ungrateful.
That's the exact reaction I had.
For having so many options, but I can't watch AEW Dark at the same time as Raw, and I can't watch AEW Elevation at the same time as Raw, and AEW Dark at the same time as NXT, and I'm not going to be able to watch NXT Evolve or 205 Live at the same time as Rampage, and I want to watch more AEW, but I have to prioritize WWE stuff, and then just because of the sheer amount of time. 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of NXT, an hour of NXT UK, 2 hours of SmackDown, 30 minutes of 205 Live, 2 hours of Dynamite, like 26 hours of Dark between Dark and Elevation, because each week it's like, here's 900 matches that are happening. Then you tack Rampage on, whatever. Look, there's just not enough time in a week to watch.
Yeah.
That's not even counting main event, because that just doesn't even exist, really. But, like, and then you get a pay-per-view. You and the 3 people that are going to be upset about it. Yeah.
It's too late.
But, like, you get a pay-per-view week. You can't literally spend all week watching pro wrestling. I mean, if you are obsessed about it, and you can, more credit to you. I can't watch any same exact thing. I can't eat the same meals. I can't whatever. We talked about this before. I'm not going to go down this whole thing all over again. But that's just... I don't love the name. I don't love the time slot. I don't know where I would have rather the time slot have been, but probably Thursday night would have been better in my mind. But I'm not the guy making the calls, nor am I the guy that has the investments in it. So if they think Friday nights is better, then it makes sense.
6:05 p.m. Eastern.
They could call it AEW's Saturday Night's main event.
No, it's AEW Saturday Night. It's on the call it Mothership. I don't give a shit what you call it. It's on TBS on Saturday at 6:05.
Mothership?
Yeah. That's what Dusty used to say when they were on TBS. He'd be like, "Yeah, we're here on the Mothership," because the TBS is what started all of it. So it's all the Mothership.
So they can't get the real names for a lot of these things. They get the back names like Blood and Guts and all that.
I'll warn you about that right now. Cody, the first promo he cuts on Rampage, he will call it the Mothership.
You've heard it here first. If it happens, tweet at Rob. Tell him that he's right.
That's right. Give me my flowers for being right. Thank you.
What kind of flowers? Tulips? Is that what you settled for?
Yes, and we can tiptoe.
If you get the reference for what you settled for a tulip, then you're watching our Review to a Kill series. And I love you.
If you get the reference of tiptoe, then, well, you're probably as weird as I am.
So then let's talk about the future of this. You know, if Dynamite moves over to TBS, it's probably not going to get as many views, but it might still be around the same.
Well, the good news is that they're one step closer to John Cena being on Dynamite, because Wipeout, which just got renewed for a second season, is on TBS. And they will be parallel on the same network.
And you figure Warner, and Warner has the whole thing with DC. John Cena's in the Suicide Squad. Peacemaker's getting involved in that. We don't know where HBO Max and, you know, Warner Media in general is going to be soon enough, because AT&T is like, fuck that noise. We don't want this anymore. And Amazon's buying MGM, and, you know, the bubble's popping in a lot of ways. I don't know.
The bubble definitely popped for AT&T, who had just decided, hey, let's merge with Discovery. Not doing a bit. They actually merged. And they're just like, yeah, we'll figure out what to do with this Warner Media name. I don't think you should get rid of Warner Media ever. Get rid of Discovery. Warner Media is iconic. Yeah, Warner is iconic. Get rid of Discovery.
And then we got like the possibility that NBC, Universal, Comcast, whatever, buys out this kind of thing. We might end up being in a situation where AEW is in the same family as Peacock.
There's no way in hell that HBO Max, or that any company that has hold of HBO Max, says, let's sell it. Because, like, HBO Max has been one of the best platforms I've come across, and I have all of them.
It could happen. 2 years from now, we might be looking back on this and going, wow. Because, you know, what was the likelihood that we thought that Disney was going to buy out Fox?
I hear you. Disney will buy out WWE. Do you think it will happen? Just not this year.
I don't think Disney's buying WWE. But I wouldn't be shocked if something happened with Warner and Comcast. And then Peacock. And then we might be in one of those things like Spike. WWE was running Raw on Spike. They leave, and Impact goes. WWE might, run out of the Peacock deal, and AEW might get in there.
Well, Peacock ain't great, so I hope AEW stays away.
Let's see if we can keep that SummerSlam thing going on. And let's round things out here with some TV talk. Just whatever has happened this week over these TV shows we feel like, noteworthy or whatever. We got some confusing stuff with Angel Garza and Drew Gulak. Apparently the people in the Thunderdome are telling people to cheer Angel Garza. Why? Dude shoved a rose up the other guy's ass.
Yeah, but he's pretty.
Well, if that's the case, every woman on the roster is a babyface.
Well, yeah.
And we got some whole stuff with the women's division, the tag team division, I should say, and Alexa Bliss and Lily, so that's heading more in that direction.
I want that. Okay, for the minute, and in this case, it's Lily's, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I called it from the minute that I saw this.
So we go from the Rose story to the Lily story. Mason T-Bar, we're like, hey, we're here. We can flip coins. We're going to fight Bobby Lashley. Actually, we're not.
Hey, we're here. Yeah, we don't have the Bane mask anymore, but we do have
the Two-Face coin.
Two-Face's coin.
Yeah. A couple weeks from now, they're going to pull out a cane and it's going to have a question mark on it.
They're literally going to interrupt Bobby Lashley. Riddle me this.
Yeah. Or they'll just cut out all the what's it called, all the subtlety, and they'll just like start a promo with Ray Shal Ghul. Just be like,
Retribution. We came from a league of assassins.
Yeah, we're gonna be the bane of your existence. You can't. Yeah, just a penguin. Just. Outside of talking about Magpie and some other, villains, Asuka beats Charlotte Flair. I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't expect that to happen.
I did not expect that at all.
Kofi Kingston has a thing going on with Bobby Lashley now after having had a match with Randy Orton.
He beat both of them.
He did. And a lot of people I had seen were like, oh, Kofi's going to get the match at the next pay-per-view. I don't think that's happening.
He should at least get a world title match on next week's Raw.
I'm thinking a week or two from now, he gets the title match. Bobby Lashley taps him out. And then, in the meantime...
really think Woods should have gotten it.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool. Because Woods doesn't get as much as he deserves, I think. So, again, hashtag, whatever the hashtag is. I don't know what it is. But, get that guy that Nick Arcade job. Bring Nick Arcade back.
King of the Ring, too.
Give him the King of the Ring, too. Make him king of...
everything he wants. He's a nice guy.
He seems like an awesome dude. He's on the short list of people that I would be like, all right, if I got to meet the people in WWE in more of than just like, oh, hey, hello, kind of a thing, I'd be like, can you be my friend? Like, can you just be my buddy, So if you are out there, Xavier Woods, be my friend.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is still involved in that, so I'm still fully expecting Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell. And I don't think there was anything else that happened on Raw that was interesting. We had another Lumberjack match.
Still hyping Eva Marie.
I hate the Eva Marie stuff.
What do you think it's going to lead to?
Garbage.
Well, that's subtle.
I don't like it. Is she a heel? Is she a face? If she's a heel, I don't...
That's your job to tell us, Tony.
That's true. I assume it's a heel gimmick because it's like the whole, like, I'm a role model. That's another thing. Why is that the phrase now?
Because we're making fun of how everybody wants everybody to be a role model.
You got, like, Bayley wants to call herself the role model. Britt Baker calls herself the role model. And now Eva Marie's like, I'm the super role model. It's like when every once in a while somebody's just like, okay, avocado. We're going to put that on every sandwich. So Wendy's has the new avocado, whatever. And Subway's got the new avocado this. And the pretzel buns. A couple years ago, everybody had a fucking pretzel bun for like 3 months.
I like pretzel buns.
They're good if they're good. They're bad if they're bad. They're really bad if they're bad. Yeah. The Wendy's one wasn't so good. On the NXT side of things, Tony Storm.
But first of all, and I've been playing with puns all night. Eva Marie is a super role model because she's a supermodel.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you just...
Did you have another miles per hour moment there?
No. This one I do.
I just don't like it. I'm like, this doesn't translate well to me. I don't hate her in the way I'm supposed to hate her. I certainly don't like her in the way I'm supposed to like her, kind of a thing. I think somebody like a Frankie Monet does a better job.
You think he gets on TV, or you think they just drop it?
Wouldn't shock me if they dropped it. Look at Emelina, you know?
Oh, God.
That was terrible. So Cameron Grimes lost to Jake Atlas because of a distraction by the $1 Million Man. They're going to have a face-to-face. It's like my favorite feud this year. It's really, just terrible to think. Alexander Wolfe, he got written off. We mentioned about that. Saray beat Aaliyah. Bronson Reed won the North American Championship from Johnny Gargano.
Let me tell you a story about a guy
named Jed,
who defiantly said Bronson Reed was going to be a star.
That was Callum, right?
Yeah, clearly. Because he's at the fantasy league points.
Yeah, he took advantage of that right this time frame. That you supported him all throughout the whole thing, and then he's the one that swooped in and got the points for that.
That's okay, Bronson. I believed in you from day one, and now it's paying off. I told you. See, I looked at him and I said, "Yes, that's the guy." And now they're proving me right.
Very cool that he won that. I liked his promo afterward too. Who's I think it's his wife.
A cage match.
Yeah, just spice it up a little bit. AEW, we had some. Yeah, this bugged me. Every match for Double or Nothing will be announced. And I will tell you the buy-in next week.
All right, you're overthinking it.
Yeah, I'm complaining more than I should, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, yeah, you said every match. I want every match. I'm not going to be like, one of those types of people that goes like, this is false advertising. I'm going to sit. No, obviously I don't care that much. But, I'm in a mood. So I'll be like, again, jerks. But we got more people in the Casino Battle Royale. We got the confirmation of Stadium Stampede. Young Bucks against Moxley and Kingston. We're going to talk about all this stuff when it comes to next week. We'll get on our Double or Nothing stuff, but nothing really standing out to me as far as really super duper noteworthy.
The triple threat match, if it is a triple threat match, should be interesting. If they do have Orange Cassidy drop out, the Pac Kenny Omega match becomes one of the best. Stadium Stampede is fine, I'm not interested in comedy spots. They keep promising it won't be that, so let's see. And Sting is going to wrestle in front of people.
Tag team match, yeah.
For the first time in 6 years.
7? Yeah, 6.
And they made it very clear. This is not a cinematic match. Not a cinematic.
Yeah, they specifically said that a couple times. So we'll talk about that next week. NXT UK, we got a new Heritage Cup champion. Tyler Bate beat A-Kid.
Tyler Bate.
Not just any kid, the champion.
Tyler Bate. Na. Tyler Bate.
Like most weeks, promo, vignette, backstage segment, vignette, promo, all over the place. But Amale beat Zybrooke Side, Rampage Brown beat Wolfgang, and they set up some other stuff for the next couple of weeks. Dragunov and Dar, Sam Gradwell and Trent Seven, Brown and Coffee. Seems like that should be some kind of a joke here, Brown and Coffee. How do you take your coffee? Rampage Brown,
AEW Rampage Brown?
That's how they mix it all together. That's how it's merging. There you go, Callum. Miko Satomura and Kaylee Ray. We still don't have confirmation if that's next week, do we? I don't think so.
Nope. I want to see it. The first one was really good. I spend more time watching NXT UK than I do many other shows, and it's crazy.
And then on SmackDown, we got some Interesting stuff with Shinsuke Nakamura and King Corbin, because Shinsuke Nakamura came out with Rick Boogs, as we mentioned earlier. Boogs
Wild.
was somebody that has popped up here and there, but never really got a foothold. He had like 3 matches in NXT and was over as fuck. And they decided to not do anything with him for like 2 years. And it was like, whoa, what? He was the Old Spice guy.
Joseph Average.
Joseph Average, yeah, Average Joe. I was gonna say Adam Strange, and I'm like, that's DC character.
He's the super no wait.
Guy Daly, that kind of thing. Rick Boogs playing the guitar for Shinsuke.
I like it. Now, if you keep this going long enough, he can compete against Elias at Survivor Series in the Battle of the Brands, Battle of the Bands.
It'll be like one of those situations where somebody will be like, hey, how come we don't just call it Battle of the Bands, huh? And it'll be like, you idiot.
Yeah.
You're doing a pun on a pun, you're reversing back to the thing. You can't, can't do that. But I like it. I don't like that they've changed his name for like the 4th time, because at this point it's like, all right, how do you spell Rick Boogs?
Apparently it's RickBoogs.
Is that on WWE.com at this point? Because Twitter, Twitter was just tagging the RickBuGez, but he specifically said BOOGS. So that way I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Name though, Boogs. I have fun saying that for a while.
Boogenhagen.
Eric Boogenheim, the Boogeyman. Something boogers.
Bastion
Boogs be his name. Aleister Black returned. He screwed Big E.
Not the rivalry I saw coming.
Not at all. Sami Zayn, great picture on that thing though. I love his bulging eyes.
Still wearing a contact in his eye.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
He attacked Big E, which means we're gonna get some Preacher Big E promos, and I like it.
So Apollo Crews retains that Intercontinental Championship, and that was the end of SmackDown. We got a lot of. He was big. Dominic Mysterio and some other people weren't, but he was somebody who won a match. He beat Robert Roode. That was very much like a bathroom break thing. It was like, just do the match and get it over with and whatever.
And they did a 6-woman tag with Bayley and Shayna and Nia against Tamina, Natty, and Bianca.
Roman Reigns talked about some stuff. Czar got attacked by Seth Rollins. Usos against Street Profits coming up next week.
Should be really good.
Looking forward to it. And looking forward to the comments that you guys are going to leave in the comments below. That's your thoughts on this. This was
because that's the end of the hot tags.
Wide range of topics here, going from releases and I don't know how like we bounced around, but we talked about Looney Tunes, we talked about depression, we talked about tortellini.
It was a wide variety of hot tags that hit us all at different temperatures.
Yeah. Lukewarm, steaming, piping hot, whatever it might be. Cold. We didn't talk about Steve Austin though.
That's true.
So give us a hell yeah in the comment section below. Tell us your thoughts on these things. And I got nothing else I got to say. People have been on 205 Live. People won matches. Sorry, Sterling won match, whatever.
You can follow me on Twitter and everywhere at Dude Felice. So close to Twitch. And let me tell you, when I say that, like, the desire to do something special like that is mounting. So stay tuned. Got some fun stuff coming.
The desire is mounting. Oh, the Mounties got such a great theme. I love it.
And you know what I love about him? He always gets his man.
He does. Or the lyrics that I used to sing as a kid. I'm the Mountie, and I don't have no balls. He should have used Manscaped. You know, it worked out. 20% off. Free shipping. Smark over there on the promo code. Do you do all your plugs? I don't remember.
Yep. Yeah, I plugged my shit. So like, Twitter, Dude Fleece, Instagram, Dude Fleece, Twitch, Dude Fleece, Fightful, Dude Fleece, WrestleZone, Dude Fleece. You guys got it. It's
okay,
all
Cupid. Go to whatever. If there's a site out there and it's got a Dude Fleece out there, it may be him, it may not be.
I mean, like TikTok, I'm on there. Don't follow me because I'm not gonna do anything.
You're gonna do that stupid arm dance that everybody does.
No, I'm not gonna do any of that. I mean, I say that I'll eventually probably have to make content because diversity and branding. But like, we'll see.
If you want to watch Rob twerk, then let him know in the comments.
I didn't say I was starting OnlyFans now.
They were gonna say I didn't say I wouldn't. You can follow me all over the place at different stuff that you should know by now, because if you're clicking around on smarkoutmoment.com and fanboysanonymous.com and checking out Tony Mango all over the place and going under a mango tree, then you should see all that stuff anyway. But check it out at EWN.
That's his least favorite Bond song.
It is, which makes me kind of sad. Because it's like, I guess that's a little bit of self-loathing in a way. Dee da da dee da da dee da dee. Tony Mango, all that stuff. EWN, Bleacher Report. As I mentioned before, lots of things in the oven. I wish that there were cookies right now, because chocolate chip, as Kevin Owens would say. And coming up next is going to be the next episode of the Review to a Kill on Fanboys, if not potentially the Army of the Dead fan tracks.
Yeah.
We've got the Double or Nothing stuff coming up next week, where we're going to get into the pay-per-view point content for that. Another episode of the Hot Tags. Not sure what else, but if it happens, it happens, and we will see you there. And whenever we see you next, even if it's in a previous one, and you go back and you check out one of the older episodes, and you go back in time, and if you do figure out time travel, aren't you smart? Then we will see you when we see you. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.